this afternoon, the New York Yankees have made the trip to Northport to take on Brandon Gaudin, C.J. Nitkowski. Happy to be back in your living room. And what we will also see for the Atlanta Braves, Brandon Gaudin, C.J. Nitkowski with you for some spring training baseball. Grapefruit League stuff. Some of the regulars have not made the trip, but a few have. At the top of the lineup, Alex Verdugo just traded for them. It is Charlie Morton getting the ball for Atlanta.
Third time we'll see Charlie in an A game this spring. At bats yesterday from Jared Kelnick, the things that he had been working on really came to fruition. He saw some positive results. Looked like strikes, so we'll keep an eye on that today for Murph, who no doubt is comfortable catching Charlie Morton.
He comes to their arch rival. And takes the first pitch off. Would Charlie go for another season? And he made the decision with
players. Hey, who's your best friend on the team? And I think it was Spencer Strider, Street actually, who said.
And now his 2-2 to Alex Verdugo. No problem for Ozzie Albies.
Coffee knowledge that he brings to the table and teaching guys how to make really good coffee.
Yeah, he actually bought an espresso machine for the Braves clubhouse. But the guys swear by Charlie's cup of coffee. So there you go. Need a little juice?
Yeah, I don't think the Mountain Dew is going to do it. So I learned to like coffee.
Prospect and kind of lock down that starting shortstop position in spring training. Did he go around? They say no.
He's hit 21 home runs. There were some good things in there.
Here, Ozzie had one on the ground. Now he'll take one through the. Ozzie, played in 19 games, 24 years of age, and he takes that downstairs. Infield, best of friends, and pretty good defensively as well. There's a shot toward the Braves. Austin Wells has a pretty good mustache game. He's got a strong curve there. And he goes down. And the 40-year-old in his 17th major league season fires in a 96-mile. Talking to him last year, like a lot of guys late in their career.
5 straight seasons of 30-plus. Kicked that COVID season out of 2020.
Dollars. Kelnick back. Crowd thought he may have gotten. Cool Today Park seats 8,100 with the National League MVP Ronald Acuna Jr. Then Ozzie Albies and Austin that is on the mound here. Nestor Cortez as he fires a 92-mile-per-hour.
Cortez available again will get the nod. They want to keep Carlos Rodon in the 2 spot.
A rotator cuff injury. This is upstairs. A ball. Called strike on the inside.
We'll tell you on the fun side of that.
It all worked out. Now Ozzie Albies for it. He didn't know what to do with it. You discarded it, but like a good citizen.
Someone's going to step on that. There's going to be gum on a big league.
Little Texas leaguer, and it'll drop down.
And relies on a cutter as much as he does. There will be a lot of weak contact. There'll be more contact.
Good to visit with Austin. Jones battling the sunshine. And
He's battled the sun with his sunglasses on his hat. It doesn't look like it's going to be an easy day at it. Somebody's a really good kid. He actually came and spoke to my son. You may not be surprised if the Yankees have some kind of rule that say you cannot block the logo on the hat.
At Olsen. First Cortez will throw over. See, Ozzie a little more optimal. A foul tip.
It's a good look there from Nestor Cortez. He does a very good over the last 3 years. That's over 314 innings. Doesn't necessarily pick a lot of guys off, just those.
Ozzie staying put as Matt Olson swing. Palm trees swing in the breeze here at Cool Today Park as we go to the second. And 9.5 ERA.
And he was solid. And you think about one start in there where he gave up 6. He had back-to-back games where he struck out 10 and 11. He was really locked in toward the end of.
Deposits that out into left center in front of Jared Kelnick. So for Charlie, this is his 21st spring training. His first was 2. Need to reflect as Rojas takes that back. But he does a lot of reflecting, and he says it's pretty neat to think about the journey.
2009, at age 25 season, and that's not late, but it's a lot of time spent in the. What an incredible journey once he got to the big leagues. Of course, traded to Pittsburgh.
0-2. He debuted with the Angels in 2020. He's bounced around. Good pitch there. And Charlie struck him out.
Something that's happened to a lot of really good big leaguers. Nothing to be ashamed about. That was a nasty curveball.
This batter, Caleb Durbin, drafted now on a minor league contract with the Red Sox. And Durbin sends it foul.
And open even when there's not games. There are hours where the tiki bar is open.
And pretty cool. Great setup. Really, this whole area.
Apartments and stuff.
Come in on the hands. Riley charges across. Bottom of the second. And the lefty deals in there for a strike. As we said, now he's going to get the opening day start this season.
The draft is now only 20 rounds. So a round that no longer exists.
Cabrera is over to Cabrera. They're not going to happen, obviously, anymore, but when you hear them, they're heartwarming.
You know, maybe aren't polished or maybe don't project, but see if something comes of them.
Harris with
for a year. Again, when you see those kinds of stories, and they're great ones. But now you really got to be on.
Murphy hit a long homer down the left field line yesterday. Just like that, we're on to the third. Yankees and Braves scoreless as we head to the third. It is time for our Synovus guys who are native New Yorkers and C.J. Nitkowski and Walt Weiss. I don't know how to feel about that.
C.J. here, man. He's one of the best in the business.
Yeah, he's fantastic. We're lucky to have him. Partner, we're all...
Which is great. You know, he's grinded in the game for a long time. And then Tom Goodwin, Eric Abreu after Frenchie left. So
everything. And look, everybody knew what this team did last year, winning over 100 in the regular season.
Expectations are high, and that means you're doing something good. And
as far as the roles go and taking care of the infielders now that Wash has gone.
Yeah, it's been great. But we'll tag team the infielders. But he'll be in charge of over the course. Well, you know, we get some help in the morning with Doug Manzolino. He's been back there helping us with the infields to their prep work this spring.
And get the regular season started.
Yeah, it's that time of spring. You know, we're ready to go. To be honest, to go. But we'll head up to Philly.
So
that was. Hey, it was. I was grateful for that day, but it was of what they did for me that day, and the hometown stuff and all that. But
let's go.
Hey, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been downtown suffering.
Oh.
Hey,
Walt, and we're going to ask Sykes about this too.
It's tough. He's had to deal with the expectations of being a can't miss guy. It's a lot on a guy's plate, but he looks like he's really starting to settle in. We win games this year, on both sides of the ball.
And we will see him back when we come back. On to the home half of the third. To Durbin. One away. Under the plate. He had that 12-pitch single yesterday, had another hit, looked really good.
Hear about the encouragement and understanding things that they were working on and getting some results. I mean, it's so...
Here, Cabrera over a few steps in the gap to the Atlanta. The platoon out in left field with Kelnick. He was going to make his great Saturday, and we will be broadcasting that game from right here at Cool Today Park. So
yeah, no doubt for him it had to be a little bit rough, waiting, encouraging sign. Guarantee that it was going to be an off-speed pitch in that spot. You don't want to take a chance with a fastball fan to Ronald Acuna Jr.
Ronald over there. Swing and a miss. 0-2 to Ozzie.
Is he going home? Is he willing to throw over some pitchers? They need to know before.
High school geometry. Missed that. Got to kind of make that decision midair with that leg and not balk. I mean, that has to
be good at it.
Comes plateward here. Was more of a side.
He's been one of the best all time against lefties.
On the ground to Volpe. He goes the short route. are about to enjoy the dulcet tones of hitting coach Kevin Seitzer, whose pitchers have been in control sites.
Yeah, as long as it's their offense that's doing a little bit of a dull time here in the last week and a half, to where it's like, okay, ready for opening day, and when the bell rings, you know, that's when they'll come to life. So this
inning maybe is a little bit too long, players sometimes, but kind of guessing on what you're saying, you might not agree with that.
and pacing the position players to where they get ramped up this last week.
For the game about Kelnick, who just made that catch out in left field, and some of the adjustments to his swing.
Success, obviously, that you've had with this group, and then you take a look at Jared Kelnick's swing.
You got to let it play out, and so, you know, the first couple of weeks was really building.
24 years of age as well, as the first pitch is high here to Jose Rojas. But
getting to know him for the first time, I mean, Doobie's real easy to
last year, just incredible. Is there a way to teach consistency? What are those conversations like for
bumps as well as the hot streaks, and he's going to learn a lot from them. So, you know, these guys are very aware of their body and what they need to do, and they're
he's coming off of. And you think about consistency and improvement. What is there?
Do I expect him to do it again? No. Will I take it? Absolutely. Keeps himself in a good place, and repeats last year.
Now here in 2024, I'm wondering about what kind of differences really stick out. I know that.
Well, we heard guys come to camp to get into shape back in the old days, but when I was too hard, too fast playing games, you can pull some calves, some quads, hammy. Conditioning guys are tremendous. Just get them on the bases, two.
Incredibly consistent. There were some things there he said about Jared Kelnick that I found pretty. You're going to see him absolutely take off. Tough. And we're going through a period, and it's all the great sports psych too self-critical. And I was like, you know what? That's probably right. Kind of hit me a little bit in the chest, and that's.
You're over here taking.
That came back. I was like, ooh, I think that might be right.
Cooper. Ooh, Kelvin. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your. Charlie Morton able to work around Matt Olson and Marcelo Zuna. 3 over our heads and out of Cool Today Park.
See that shot of Jamal?
Now he's wearing the shades here as we ticked across 2 o'clock.
They used to carry a case. They just had a bunch of them when I was in Detroit.
This is today. 80 degrees. I wonder if he's regretting the long sleeves or if he feels good.
He doesn't wear them all.
2023 campaign where he led baseball in homers and runs driven in. It was really in spring training last
pitch, left on left, tough angle, especially when he just kind of picks and chooses. You're not exactly.
Definitely got strike 3 there. How about those shoes?
And in Cuba, what'd you say, 7 months old when he came over?
Yes. His father, the Florida Marlins, now of course the Miami Marlins. And last year's we hopped to eat some Durbin, and the Big Bears racing down there to beat out the throw. And Atlanta's in business here. So Brett 80. There might be some clubs rebuilding, and that's acceptable, but not for the New York Yankees. Of course, they had the area.
Probably on this club, as you mentioned, with the big payroll and then missing the postseason. Now they're not going to have too concerned about it, but it's a big body.
This one gets by Jones, and the Braves have tied it. Yeah, this might be a double play, and it is.
Jeez, Michael, how you going to make the team like that?
National treasure. That was just one of 3 little. And Alex Verdugo.
He's got to earn it. And he did his best before they even play a big league game to make sure that they liked it.
It's happened again.
And both of these. Unfortunately, that ball did not go in the dugout.
Well, it's going to have to hurry. He does get there.
See what happens here pitch count wise for Charlie Morton. You can see there's some action in the Braves bullpen.
And Verdugo at third base. He did everything he could. Yankees back in front. Productive game for Austin Wells. Charlie Morton is the only guy he hasn't retired. Morton, Chris Sale, and then Reynaldo Lopez for Atlanta. Right field for the Yankees. But with the Braves getting Chris Sale, it's a little
Lopez in there as well, who's had a really strong spring. And then the depth that exists. Expected to be healthy for the second half. Noah, hopefully be healthy. It is.
Yes.
Right, sorry.
We are halfway home. 2-1 New York.
Thanks, Eric. Good try. Stop. Don't ever mic Eddie up again.
Throwing batting practice not as easy as it seems. More often, the key is not ever looking at the hitter and only looking at the target. And then
You've pitched to your children. You've hit them with a baseball before.
Yeah.
Field. Verdugo is back, and that one's on the bar.
He's had a nice spring training and feeling. Remember yesterday the foul ball that he hit down the left field line.
Big swing from Acuna, so the Braves starting in. Find the infield and not coming in with Acuna. Strikeout so far today. Speaking of
Number, I know sometimes you kind of get lost in some of the numbers that we'll throw out there in the game.
1-2 from the southpaw. Braves on top. So the new pitcher here is Dennis Santana, a guy who used for the RBI single. So still nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth.
Against Santana.
Ozzie laid off. That one's right down Broadway.
Help over the course of the season. I mentioned the walks, and they've been an issue for him throughout. Good side of the zone with some late break at 89 miles an hour.
Big cut, 1-2.
Batting average with 2 strikes. He's the best in baseball.
3 strikeouts today for Matt.
Seen all sliders up to this point, and this is kind of fascinating. You think where he is, 333. It's an impressive number.
Well, he got 93 in a row. Pretty good effort there from Dennis Santana.